want to know about the dust storms that come off the Great Salt Lake. Unfortunately, my camera is pretty good, so you really can't see through it that well. But, you know, if you look there, that's about 300 yards, 400 yards from me right now, that thing, and you can see this layer of haze and thickness. So this is the incoming storm that's coming in, and just basically whenever the wind picks up, it just starts looking like this. There's an odor coming from it too. It actually really interestingly smells like rubber tires. So I was trying to put a finger on it because I'm towing right now an old boat with some tires that are a little bit older, and I thought maybe it was the trailer, and it's freaking air. So it just is what it is. It'll always be like this. You can see little puddles and pools of water. It's the best I've seen it in years. I did a road trip a little while ago to California, and I was just floored with how many of the lakes were dry. So this is entire reservoirs, etc. So this is an entirely West Coast thing. Basically anything this side of the Rockies, and probably and then some. There's probably some drought stuff in Nebraska and all that, but it is really interesting, the conundrum. So now we're starting to move away, but this all just came up and picked up, and so all of this is northwest of Salt Lake City, which is, I'm heading east right now, due east, and basically the way the wind blows, which is why we get so much snow, it's lake effect off the Great Salt Lake. So those are the very beginning of the Wasatch right there. Those go up to 12,000 feet and such. I don't know if we have any 12s in the Wasatch. I think they're high 11s, but you know, the base elevation is 4,500 feet. So they're massive, tall, rocky mountains, and the water for all the snow, all the drinking water, etc., all comes off the lake and blows southeast towards there, hits the weather, crashes into those mountains, and it deposits the snow. And that is what created the Great Salt Lake Valley with all of its lushness, trees, land for agriculture, wetlands, etc. As you're seeing here, wetlands, is all this water from here. And basically water is being pulled from humans, of course. That's the easy culprit. A massive amount related to agriculture, growing of primarily alfalfa grass in our agricultural community, which really interestingly, sadly, and quite pathetically, most of that alfalfa is now being boxed up and shipped to China, and it feeds cattle. So it powers the Chinese cattle industry, as I understand it. But they're reluctant to pull that off because all those jobs, all the old farmers, all the powerful rural farming community that is well represented in the state legislature. And so there's been a lot of work. I think they passed a bill yesterday related to the Great Salt Lake. It's all everyone is talking about right now. I've been talking about it for years because it was just so painfully obvious. And then it took the last couple of years where basically they set a threshold of what is the far extreme of quality of the lake, and we went below that the last couple of years. It did go up 4 or 5 feet. It's a very shallow lake, only 35 feet. Went up 4 or 5 feet last year because we had freakishly high weather, and this year's looking pretty good. So we'll probably break even, would be my guess. It went up and then it went down because, again, all that drinking water, all of that stuff. So it's an interesting conundrum. It's sad and would be the great travesty of this incredible state if we were to lose that, or if it were to shrink even another third. Would have dramatic effects on this residential and urban area, which we'll be at in about 10 minutes or so. You can just barely see some of the buildings of Salt Lake City right there at the foothill.